is here for the update. First, we're looking at the attempts to turn France's biggest car maker around.
Yes, we are indeed, Cyril. In the past few years, Peugeot Citroën has lost more than 7 billion euros, but the car maker's new chief executive has now pledged to turn Peugeot Citroën around and turn it back to profitability by 2018. As part of that turnaround plan, Carlos Tavares says that the company will almost halve the number of models. But the stock markets seem to be giving that plan a thumbs down, at least initially, with Peugeot Citroën shares trading down more than 6% at the close on Monday. Cal Brown has more details.
Europe's second largest automotive group says it's back in the race. French car maker PSA Peugeot Citroën plans to reduce costs and slash the number of models sold under the reforms of new CEO Carlos Tavares.
As you know, the recovery process is already underway, but there's still much to do, and the target of the Back in the Race plan is to allow the company to complete its recovery.
Peugeot plans to reduce the number of models in its product portfolio from 45 to 26 by 2020, focusing on the most profitable cars. On Monday, the company pledged to develop new plug-in hybrids, four-wheel drive vehicles, and self-driving cars. And it will continue to expand beyond the family car market by further developing Citroën's premium DS brand. Tavares says Peugeot's corporate culture needs to shift to reverse recent losses. After losing more than 7.2 billion euros over the past 2 years, Peugeot struck a rescue deal in February. It sold 14% stakes each to the French government and China's Dongfeng Motor Group for a cash injection of 3 billion euros. Like his predecessors, Tavares seeks to continue to expand Peugeot's penetration into emerging markets.
Now, Monday was a pretty eventful day in the stock markets, and it wasn't all about Peugeot. European shares, they were in negative territory throughout much of Monday, weighed down by concerns over the Ukraine crisis. In the end, though, we saw the markets ending in positive territory, boosted by a strong opening in the United States. In the United States, shares popped on the news that retail sales were up 1.1% in March, the biggest monthly gain in a year's time. Better than expected earnings from Citigroup also helped. We saw those worries over Ukraine creep in the United States as well. Still, though, we saw the indices in positive territory at the close. Now, France's Prime Minister is trying to reassure European partners that he's serious about cutting the French budget deficit. During his first trip to Germany as Prime Minister this Monday, Manuel Valls said his government would cut its deficit to 3% of GDP by 2015. That's in line with previous promises to the rest of the European Union. Valls has signalled that he would like to look for more wiggle room from the EU, which has sparked criticism and concerns in Brussels as well as Berlin.
France is a country which sticks to its commitments, and as Finance Minister Michel Sapin confirmed today, we will respect all commitments because France's word and France's credibility are at stake here. Nobody can question France's credibility.
We have a few more stories to tell you about. The World Trade Organization says global trade is accelerating and will grow by 4.7% this year. That's slightly higher than a previous forecast from the WTO, but it's still underneath a long-time average. The WTO says it expects Asia to lead in terms of growth, while a sluggish European recovery will lead to slower growth in Europe in terms of trade. French oil giant Total is going ahead with a $16 billion project to develop a new oil field off Angola's coast. The company says it's going ahead with the project after cutting the estimated cost by $4 billion. Production is set to start in 2017, and the project is set to cement Total as the top operator in Angola. It's also forecast to help Angola overtake Nigeria as Africa's #1 oil producer. And Google is aiming for the skies. It's buying the American drone maker Titan Aerospace for an undisclosed sum. The company makes unmanned solar-powered aircraft that fly well above commercial airliners. It's reported that Google wants to connect remote parts of the globe to the internet and also to enhance services like Google Maps and Google Earth. There were reports earlier this year that Facebook was mulling a bid for Titan, but it now appears that Google beat Facebook to it. Okay, that is the business news for now. I'm going to hand it back to you, Cyril.
Business news with Marcus Carlson. Thank you very much.